For us, humans, the perception of time is relative. It often seems that the more we wait for something, the longer it takes to happen. And when we relax, things suddenly surprise us. Our perception of time is conditioned by our emotional state. As musicians, we must take control of our temporal perception, as it is through the passage of time that we express ourselves through sound. The timeline is to the musician what the canvas is to the painter, and the pulse is the tool we have to ensure that our canvas is balanced. The basic organizational criteria applicable to almost any style of music are tempo, which is the speed of the pulse that can be mechanically or digitally measured, and the meter, which is the framework that contains the pulse. Each musical style has its own way of experiencing time, and each musical practice or listening experience generates its own emotional state. Words like swing or groove arise when comparing different styles. By setting aside analytical listening, the state of temporal perception evoked by each unique style becomes more clear. We can then ask ourselves, how does one navigate the passage of time in each style? Is it done smoothly, rapidly, homogeneously, or with organized precision? Does it demand being present in each moment, or distribute our attention through time? In the case of tango, beats 2 and 4 feel different than beats 1 and 3. In the most iconic rhythm pattern of tango, the marcato en cuatro, or marcato in 4, we can observe how these pulses will be distinct, transitioning from tension to resolution. In one of the most characteristic rhythm patterns of tango, la yumba, a hallmark of composer Osvaldo Pugliese, we find this quality taken to the extreme, where the second and fourth beats are directly percussive in the low register. Some experts speak of accentuation or articulation on the second and fourth beat in tango. However, what truly brings us closer to the tango swing is the perception of it. Even when playing with a metronome, we are going to perceive that the second and fourth beats struggle more to arrive at the third and first beats. Another characteristic that influences the temporal perception of tango is the off-beat, or syncopation, which refers to attacks on the second half of the beats. In la síncopa, the emphasis is often placed on the end of beat 1 and 4, while resting on the third beat. In the 3-3-2 rhythm, the emphasis is on the second half of the second beat, while it drags from the fourth beat to the first beat. And in other rhythms, such as the syncopated marcato, there are simultaneously drags from the second to the third beat and from the fourth to the first beat, with syncopations in the right hand. In summary, One of the characteristics that makes tango so special is its diverse palette of temporal perception states. While many popular styles have a single rhythm as their distinctive characteristic, tango alternates within the same composition between various rhythmic proposals, although built on the same foundation and criteria. Tango blends rhythmic complexity with profound lyrics that narrate anecdotes of the neighborhood in an Argentine slang called lunfardo. As we explore the concepts of tango level 1, we are also going to listen to tango every day, taking into account everything discussed here. Our immediate goal will not be to incorporate accompanying models or complex rhythms, as we are going to properly address that in level 2 of this course. In the meantime, we can focus on familiarizing ourselves with the essence of tango and appreciating its aesthetics, laying the fundamental groundwork for the later development of the language.